On the previous vlog, I was talking about how I upgraded my phone last year, and I don't regret it. I don't know what it seems like on the outside, but pretty much 95% of the stuff that I buy, I don't regret buying it. I do think about new stuff all the time, but as a consequence of that, everything that I buy is very considered. If I like it, I stick with it. This keyboard, I bought it maybe 10 years ago now. It works like the day I got it. It is excellent. I have stuck with it. Mouse, same deal. This monitor and these speakers are relatively new, but I am extremely happy with both of them, and I will not be upgrading these for a very long time. And if you'll remember, I just talked about this keyboard recently, but this is from 2002. 2002, this is 23 years old. The only thing I don't like about this is that it's too heavy. Other than that, just about every piece of music that I've written for Adventure Archives has been done on this wonderful keyboard. So one of my strengths is sticking with something when I like it. But one of my weaknesses is that when something is not quite right, I cannot get that splinter out of my mind. I initially bought this computer with 16 gigabytes of RAM. That is not enough for video editing. After maybe like 2 years, I was like, oh, I have to upgrade this to 64 gigabytes. Upgraded it to 64 gigabytes. I am happy for the foreseeable future. Now you might be asking yourself, Robbie, where are you going with this? You've talked about this like 50 times. All of that preamble was just for somebody who might not have heard that before. But the reason I bring it all up is because I recently upgraded my mics. And I did it again! Now when I say mics, I'm talking about these little portable mics that we use when we do talking scenes. We clip them right here or on our backpack. And we also use them for scenes where I'm holding the Steadicam and then like we get to a trail junction and everybody's giving their like thoughts. And because they're far away, you can't hear them, but we use these and then you can hear everybody. Now I just bought 4 of these in February, and these were actually an upgrade from our previous mic. And the reason I upgraded to these is because they have something called 32-bit float, which means no matter how loud you talk, you can always bring the levels back down to where they don't distort. So if, for example, we're hiking and then somebody says, oh, hey, there's something over there. But then Andrew's way over there and he goes, Andrew, what are you doing over there? Come back. You can have the regular voice and the yell, and you can bring the level of the yell down. Now to explain why I upgraded from these, I first have to explain how we have recorded audio for Adventure Archives in the past. The vast majority of the time, this is what our setup looks like. We've got the camera on a tripod, and a simple microphone mounted to the top of the camera. If everybody is close enough to the camera, it sounds very good. For ambient audio, it sounds great. Now, in the first 2 episodes of Adventure Archives, we used just the camera's built-in microphone. This can actually sound okay if you're close enough, but if you're far away, it sounds pretty terrible. So we very quickly switched to using the on-camera microphone. For a brief period of time, we tried using lav mics. A lav mic is this little wired microphone that you clip to your shirt and then pretend this is a little pocket recorder. You plug it into that, put it in your pocket, and then you hit record. And then of course, when you get into editing, you have to take the files from this and sync it to the audio that you captured with your camera. As you may be able to guess, dealing with a lav mic and a wire and a separate device sucks. It really, really sucks. At some point we were just like, you know what, this is not worth it. Now, for a long time, those were our choices. And then Rode released the wireless mic. This was a little device that was maybe this big. You could plug a lav mic into it and it would wirelessly transmit audio to the camera. The problem is we have 4 people. So you could only do this for 1 person. We occasionally use this for Andrew's plant identification scenes. I had briefly considered, what if we got a device like a Tascam DR03? I think that's what the model was, but it would work something like my current vlog setup. You would put the audio device here and it has multiple inputs. This particular one has 3, but the one I looked at before had 4. And I was like, okay, maybe we could have the receiver for each wireless mic attached to this somehow. But that would be 4 big receivers and 1 big audio device. And then all of that would be sitting on this tripod and somebody would have to carry it. And I ultimately decided that's not feasible. That will not work. So we never tried that option. Technology marched on ever so slowly and surely. When we started Adventure Archive in 2014, the so-called creator business was still in like its early years, which is weird because YouTube came out in 2006, but 2014 was still relatively early in that industry being a real thing. So camera manufacturers and audio manufacturers, they weren't really making stuff specifically for YouTubers. They eventually realized this is where people are spending so much money, so they started making products specifically for YouTubers. Before I go on, just to recap what our specific needs are and what the problems are. We have 4 people who talk, and we need to get all of that audio into the camera. The in-camera microphone sounds bad. The on-camera microphone sounds good as long as everybody can get close enough. Lav mics with a separate audio device are a super pain to work with. Plus, you have to sync the audio afterwards. A wireless microphone pack with a lav mic is still a super pain to work with, but it does feed the audio into the camera. But you still have the problem of you need to get 4 people's audio into the camera. At some point, Rode released a device called the Wireless Mic Go. We bought specifically the Part 2 variant. It was a device a little bit bigger than this that you could just clip on, just like this one, and it had internal recording. So no cumbersome lav to deal with, but you did still have to sync the audio when you got back. We used those for a while, and it was a nice compromise because syncing them wasn't such a big deal. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, DJI released these. It has 32-bit float, which means you can get as loud as you want. This is a pretty good audio solution. Now, all of that preamble to get to the main point. This is the DJI Mic 3. It is very similar to the Mic 2 that we used, only it's much smaller, which that in itself is a great upgrade, but not worth the upgrade. The thing that pushed me over the edge is, hallelujah, this little device right here. Now this little device, plus the microphone's receiver, you combine these, and then this little device interfaces with the camera electronically. You just plug it into the top of the camera, just like this. And now magically, the audio from this little microphone goes directly into the camera, but that is not the important part. The important part is that not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different mics can all be sent to this receiver at one time. At one time. Do you understand what this means? Finally, after 12 years since the start of Filming Adventure Archives, we can have 4 microphones sent to the camera wirelessly without any syncing need to be done in post. All of the microphones get sent to the camera on their own separate channels. You can adjust the levels of each one separately. They're all automatically synced to the video. Oh my God. When this was announced, I was just kind of like, okay, that's cool. They made it smaller. That's good. Yeah, maybe we could get it down the line because it's so much smaller. Like, look how discreet this is, especially because it's all black. And if I put a little black tape on the DJI logo, and you can actually turn off the LED too. But then I was like, I should watch a review or two. And I started watching the reviews, and then somebody mentioned that you could use this little camera adapter with the receiver and have 4 microphones. Come on, man. I've actually only got 2 microphones right now, but I have 2 more that are arriving tomorrow. So I haven't actually tested all 4 channels yet, but it's definitely recording 4 channels right now. Provided this actually works, this is going to be so transformative for Adventure Archives' audio quality. Is it Archives' or Archives? Either way, transformative. I think I've mentioned before that when you film, you kind of want to be editing in real time. And what I mean by that is you don't want to create too much work for yourself in the editing suite because you're being too flippant about what you record when you're filming. And to that end, I only really had us do audio with the separate mics when it was a really important scene where I wanted everybody to be able to be heard, because I knew that every scene that you record with these mics, you're going to have to sync the audio later. In the grand scheme of things, it probably takes like 2 or 3 minutes to get all of the audio synced up. That's not a huge deal, but anything that kills the momentum like that, you're just like, yeah, this is probably not worth it. Let's just stand closer to the camera instead of getting out these mics. But these wonderful little wireless microphones, 4 all at the same time into the camera, properly synced, ready to go as soon as you drop it into Adobe Premiere. Transformative. I cannot tell you how exciting this is. 12 years of Filming Adventure Archives, and somebody made a product that is just so perfectly tailored towards me. DJI,
Thank you. Actually, on that note, DJI is absolutely my favorite camera company. They are just constantly making such good stuff for people who make YouTube videos. The quality is just through the roof, and all of their stuff is just so incredibly rock solid. I don't know what type of wizards they have working on this stuff, but it is awesome. It's a real shame that the drones aren't being sold in the US, and I got in my DJI Air 3S purchase in just in time. I really hope that they make a big camera with interchangeable lenses, because I know they would actually do the things that people who make YouTube videos really need. Big bright screen that I can actually see outdoors for like starters. I can make a huge list.
Anyway, that's probably not interesting to everybody, but this is something that I've just been waiting for so long. And I'm just so happy that somebody finally made something like this. And it's just really, really fantastic. Oh, on that note, have you ever seen Physical 100? That show is really interesting because when I was watching it, I was like, there's 100 people there. That means that there are 100 microphones with one microphone attached to each person. I would guess that they weren't wireless microphones all being fed into one location, and that some poor intern had to take all of that audio and sync it to the video. They had to have had some really good like time code matching abilities to where they could just take the audio and it would just drop right into the right place when you put it on the timeline or something. I don't know. But just the sheer production headaches of 100 microphones. Whew! We're only dealing with 4, and that's a big headache for me. But man, this is gonna be wonderful. I actually like solving problems like this, trying the different methods and then seeing what's actually feasible, like testing it out in the field. I like those type of problems. But sometimes it is nice when somebody makes the exact thing that you need and you're just like, one and done. It's like, what if there was something where you could just have 4 microphones all being fed wirelessly into the camera at the same time? And it was all small and compact. And DJI said, your wish is my command. That is gonna do it for today's vlog though. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a good one. See you in the next one. Okay, I now have all 4 microphones here. Let's go give this a quick range test. We're just gonna be walking back, and we wanna make sure that each microphone has a nice signal. This is microphone 1, testing 1, 2. It's microphone 2, testing 2, 2. So microphone 3, testing 3, 3. And this is microphone 4, testing 4, 4. I don't know why I chose this poopy location, but it's probably mostly grass anyway. Mosquito! Gotcha.